Which is better? Is it Café de Coral's baked pork chop rice, or is it Fairwood's? And after some serious eating, I'm gonna have to say that for me, baked pork chop rice is a Hong Kong staple that was recently in the spotlight when it was nominated by Hong Kong fast food giant Café de Coral to be included on the city's intangible cultural heritage list, joining the ranks of silk stocking milk tea, pineapple buns, and more. But let's rewind a bit. What is baked pork chop rice? Where did it come from? And is Café de Coral really qualified to put the dish up for special status when it's been cooked by Hong Kong restaurants big and small for generations? Comparing every single restaurant's rendition of the dish would be nearly impossible. So what we're going to do in this episode is pit Café de Coral's baked pork chop rice against that from the other big two Hong Kong fast food chain, Fairwood, to see which one reigns supreme as the best representative of this quintessentially Hong Kong dish. So join me for our mouth-watering battle of the baked pork chop rice. This is Sam Eats It. Hey guys, thank you for joining me on a beautiful late summer evening here in Hong Kong. And what better neighbourhood to start our battle of the baked pork chop rice than in Causeway Bay, which was the area where Café de Coral opened their first ever branch in 1969. But if you guys haven't done already, please like and subscribe. And also we've got a new Patreon for those guys who want to support us that way. The more support that we get, the more we can continue to make these videos. Anyway, while we're walking to Café de Coral, allow me to share a little bit about the dish itself. Baked pork chop rice is a soy sauce Western dish that fuses Cantonese and Western ingredients, and it's typically made by baking a mixture of cheese, tomato sauce, pork chop and vegetables atop a bed of fried rice. Sounds delicious, doesn't it? And the dish is first believed to have turned up in Hong Kong in the first part of the 20th century when a chain restaurant that's still well known today, Tai Ping Koon, brought it out as kind of like a riff on a French casserole. So it's gone from that to basically these days, over the decades, being eaten by thousands of Hong Kongers every day. And today it is easily one of the city's favourite comfort foods. And honestly, just talking about it is making my mouth water. And we're right at Café de Coral now, so let's get in there and try our first baked pork chop rice of the evening. Let's do this. All right guys, so we've sat down in Café de Coral, Causeway Bay. Honestly, it's a really nice vibe at the moment. It's not too busy, and it's so nice to actually have space to put up my camera this time, because for the past few videos, as a few of you guys know, it's been so cramped. So this is a vacation for me. This is brilliant. Okay, anyway though, Café de Coral, it is Hong Kong's single biggest domestic fast food chain. They have like 160 outlets all over the city or more, and they serve something like 300,000 people daily. It's absolutely nuts. And the company's name, which in Cantonese is Dai Ga Lok, sorry if I butchered that, it means all happy together, which tells you something about the mission statement of the brand, right? It's to offer affordable, good quality food to the masses, and that's exactly what these guys do. So there you go, there's a little bit of history of Café de Coral, but right now my stomach is rumbling, so let's get over there and order. I'm going to show you how you do it here. Okay guys, so yeah, basically they have the menus here, all on the wall, and you go over to the counter over there, you order from the lady, you pay, and then she gives you a ticket number, and then you pick it up from the counter around here when your number's called. Okay guys, so I've just come back, my baked pork chop rice. Now's the moment of truth, let's open it. So it looks great, it looks incredibly cheesy. You can see the tomatoes in there. As far as veg, it looks like they've got little bits of, is that cauliflower? Or no, sorry, it's pineapple. They've got bits of pineapple in here. The cheese is thick, there are peas, the tomato sauce is like coming up at the sides. It's like this big volcano of what looks to be deliciousness. So first of all, I'm going to cut it up, and yeah, let's just dig into that pork chop first. The most important part of the dish, no doubt. Going to get it smothered with cheese there, and a bit of tomato sauce. Let's try that. Tell you what, it's hot. Yeah, really good. I mean, yeah, look at that pork chop. Looks really nice, really evenly cooked. I'm sure they have a formula as well, and probably some very stringent training on how this dish is meant to be done. You know, right off the bat, it's got that distinct kind of like homely flavour about it. You know, it's not gourmet. It tastes like very, what can we say, humble working class food, to be honest. It doesn't taste particularly good for you, but it tastes delicious. It's full of cheese, it's full of stodge. The cheese it's not really oily, the cheese, to be honest. It's kind of like a dry surface. Not crunchy, it's definitely soft, but not oozing with oil, which is a good point in the mental of cheese. They don't just have the big pineapple chunks and the tomatoes. They also have little bits of mushroom. I'm seeing peas, sweet corn in there. So there's a variety. Oh, even onions. So there's a variety of veg in there. I don't know what quality, what grade of veg it is, but they fit it all into this dish. And my God, is this like, it's a cozy dish. Let's try the pineapple with a bit of cheese. Yeah, reminds me of Hawaiian pizza. Tomatoes in there, and those are quite big. Let's be honest, quite big tomatoes there. The rice is a tiny bit sludgy from soaking up all that sweet tomato sauce, but not in an unpleasant way. Again, this is a really good dish and a good rendition of baked pork chop rice. Like so many of this style of like the soy sauce Western Hong Kong dishes, it reminds me of massively of childhood. This is something that kids would eat for their school dinner. It brings back that, it's kind of like Western 1990s being a kid watching cartoon vibes, just eating this. It just brings back those memories. And honestly, if a dish can do that, then you know it's pretty powerful. It's well done. You can understand why it's popular here. But really, that isn't the question that we're trying to answer today. The question is whether Café de Coral does it better than Fairwood across the way, and whether they deserve to be the ones that are putting it forward, their version of it, for intangible cultural heritage status. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to try and go about getting a doggy bag, because I'm sorry, there is no way that I can eat 2 of these dishes in one night. I'm taking half of this home to eat later, or maybe tomorrow. And then we're going to get over to Fairwood, which is just across the way. I'm going to try Fairwoods. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, so we've just come out of Café de Coral. Night is slowly falling on Causeway Bay, and we're on our way to Fairwood for baked pork chop rice part 2. And of course, I've got my Café de Coral bag with me, full of leftovers. And this is, it's absolutely a new low for me. I mean, what kind of sick, twisted weirdo goes into a Fairwood with a Café de Coral bag? I hope that they let me in. Anyway, we're coming up on it now, so let's see if they do. Alright guys, so we've just sat down with baked pork chop rice course 2 here at Fairwood, and as far as ordering, it is exactly the same deal as you get over at Café de Coral. There are menus on screen which change, obviously, and you pick off them, or you can go to a machine and order it manually, and then you go and pay, and then you get a slip with a number on it. When your number's up, you go and get your dish and you sit down with it. The only difference is that here, the baked pork chop rice with a tea set is $58, not $57. That's a $1 increase. Oh my God, how is that going to affect things? Now, just a little bit about Fairwood itself. As far as a brand, it is the Hong Kong domestic fast food chain number 2 biggest, and they have a very similar amount of chains to Café de Coral all over the city. You'll find these cafes, both of them, in pretty much every area of Hong Kong, all the residential places, all the big business places. And these guys first opened in 1972 in Chum Wan, up in Hong Kong's New Territories, and since then they've obviously blown up and become a huge food brand. Their Cantonese name is Dai Fat Woot, which means big cheerfulness. So, you know, honestly, it's pretty much, these 2 brands are very similar. It's all about being good for the people, and what these guys pride themselves on, pretty much identically to Café de Coral, is affordable, high quality food in a comfortable setting. And honestly, I've got to say, branch-wise, I know that the branch has changed branch to branch, but comparing just this branch with Café de Coral's over the way there, this one's nicer. It's newer, got a nice view out onto Lockhart Road of the the early evening rush, and yeah, it's very comfortable. And the actual the dish itself kind of is in line with that. It looks a bit tidier than Café de Coral's, where it kind of looked like just slop thrown on into a dish, honestly. Here it looks a little bit more well kept, a little bit more manicured, but honestly, food. It's not about the looks, and it shouldn't be for anybody. It's not about the aesthetics, it's about the taste and how it makes you feel. So let's dig into this. It does look really good. Got my knife. I'm going to cut up this baked pork chop. And let's just see how the meat is. Yeah. A little bit more gammony than over at Café de Coral, which was more, I'd say, truly porky. And definitely thinner than Café de Coral's. But I've got to say, I think overall, I've got to say the meat flavour, I slightly prefer it here. That's really nice meat. You got some accompaniments. You got a little bit of what looks like tiny little bits of yellow pepper. It might just be cheese though, to be honest. You've definitely got pineapple, but yet not as much variation, I've got to say here. It seems to be actually, just pineapple, maybe the odd onion, the tomato sauce, and the pork chop on the rice. There isn't any sweet corn that I can see, or peas, or onions, or anything like that. Pineapple tastes not bad, just like at Café de Coral, very similar. I'm pretty sure they're not getting fresh, responsibly sourced organic pineapple from the trees and cutting it up. I doubt it, highly doubt it. These taste like tins, but still very good. That tomato sauce, I'm going to say a little bit gentler and a slightly more winey. It's got a little bit more of like an Italian vibe to it. The rice underneath is not quite as soggy from the sauce, so it's a bit of a drier dish. And yeah, I've got to be honest, for that extra $1, which is like 10 pence, the dish feels slightly more upmarket. It's definitely not gourmet. You're not going to get it at a Michelin star restaurant, but it feels a bit more stylish and a bit more thoughtfully curated, rather than everything just being slopped into a dish. So, which is better? Is it Café de Coral's baked pork chop rice, or is it Fairwood's? And after some serious eating and serious consideration, I'm going to have to say that for me, Café de Coral's just about edges it. I know it looks messy and unkempt, and it's basically just this haphazard aesthetic disaster in a casserole dish compared to Fairwood's, which looks a lot nicer and is probably slightly more refined. But honestly, for me, that's what baked pork chop rice is more about. It's supposed to be a fill-in, kind of a populist dish for the people, and the looks don't come into it. And yeah, I just feel that Café de Coral's has more to it. The meat is thicker, even if it's not quite as flavourful as Fairwood's, and you get more variety, and it's more cheesy, there's more sauce. It's just more of a mouth-watering dish. But this is just one dish in one of the branches of each of these cafes. They do different takes on hundreds and hundreds of dishes. But yeah, that's my opinion for this. If you guys have any opinions about baked pork chop rice at Fairwood, Café de Coral, or anywhere else in the city, please, please, please let us know in the comments. And apart from that, as always, really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. It means a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers. And that concludes this battle of the baked pork chop rice. What are your thoughts on the outcome? Let us know in the comments, and don't hesitate to let us know if there are any spots out there you recommend for baked pork chop rice or anything else Hong Kong food related. Thanks for watching, and until the next feast, stay hungry.